We've been asked to do some question and answer things, so we put out a little request for some Q&As, well, some questions that we could answer.
Yeah.
And we've got 4 questions that we're going to answer today. Any more questions, just pop them in the comments below and we'll pick those up in another video, won't we?
Yeah, we will. We'll do it in another video. Yes, yeah.
So we're up here in Sweden. The weather's getting better, but I was just reminiscing this morning, wasn't I, about this time last year we were in Spain and we were wondering whether we could take the constant clear blue sky, 27 degrees every day with no rain any longer. And actually we left Spain on about the 21st of May.
We did. It was getting very hot and we decided to have a little bit of travel up north, further up north, didn't we? Yeah.
So anyway, getting on with the Q&A. So we've got a question from Ray Hodges, a question from Nick Carpenter, Jason Early, and last but not least Simon Worsley. So we're going to start off with Ray. Ray, your question was if money wasn't a factor, which motorhome would be the one that you choose and why? Well, my thoughts on that are that it isn't money that dictates what motorhome you go for. Okay, it's a factor, and Ray is saying, well, what if money wasn't a factor? I don't know, because we didn't. When we started to look for motorhome, we did set ourselves a budget. In the very early days, before we'd bought anything, we set ourselves a budget of about 35 or 40,000. Yeah. Didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So money was clearly on our minds, and we started looking around for those American motorhomes with the slide outs. Not super huge, not like the big bus things, but a sort of a big transit. Maybe as big as the Comanche that we've got now, but with slide outs as well. We looked at one, didn't we?
We did, but they're great if you're not going to travel. You can't really travel around with them. There's a lot of... It's not easy we found with great big vans. So I would like one, and I'd like to put it on a pitch in Spain, for example, and use it while we're in Spain. That would be lovely. Or put it up in Sweden here. You know, if money was no object, I'd probably have one in... I'd like to put one in England, one in Sweden and one in Spain.
If money wasn't a factor,
we'd have loads. Yeah.
Probably not motorhomes then, because we wouldn't be travelling around. Probably big, you know, like the fifth wheel trailer things.
I quite fancy that one of those cars, couldn't we? If we had a fifth wheel, that would be good.
Oh yeah, like the Nissan Navara is the sort of vehicle of choice, I think.
Yeah.
For those, so I think, but there was a lot of other factors apart from money. So if money wasn't a factor, and we didn't need to drive it around, because driving it around is not about the money. Driving it around is about the size, manageability, and parkability. Yeah. So, but I think this motorhome, the Comanche, is, to our feeling, the best sort of choice. Now, it doesn't need to be a Comanche. It doesn't need to be an auto trailer Comanche. It could be any other make. You know, any other make. It doesn't matter. And the reason I say it doesn't matter, because I think motorhomes are built to a pretty consistent standard. All not very good. No. You know, they're all a bit. They're for the leisure market, not for the full-time market, aren't they?
They are.
And I think maybe the American motorhomes are more in tune.
Yes.
Because maybe
you can empty. You've got a black you have a big black tank there, and it's
Yes.
difficult to empty that in England.
Yeah,
Or abroad, in fact. I wouldn't
so-
know where to start. So.
Yeah, instead of the cassette that you pull out and you go and empty and you put toilet blue in and put it back and so on, they have like a waste water tank or a fresh water tank slung underneath where all your toilet waste goes into, and it's huge, like 20 times the size of a toilet cassette, I suppose. Maybe 60, 70 litres of toilet waste can go in, and it can. But there again, it's difficult to find places to empty those, because that, you have to sort of just open the thing and let it drop out, and then at the same time empty your grey waste, because the grey waste water is much cleaner and it runs out of the same pipe at the end. So toilet waste comes down, grey waste comes down, and you run your grey waste afterwards to clean out the end of the pipe, as it were.
But if money was no object, I'd always have a nice motorhome with a fixed bed. But I do like those motorhomes where they've got the massive glass front. I don't know what they're called. I'd like one of those, really.
They're the A class. We looked at the A classes initially when we were looking around, and we were looking at the Bursner Elegance. I think it was the I-12, something like that. Anyway, the Elegance with the twin axle, huge front, but comparing the Elegance with the other things that we were looking at, it was an extra 20 to 30,000 pounds, and didn't get any more space.
No.
So apart from it was an A class, you didn't really feel any bigger at all. So, but it's difficult because money isn't the only thing. Money was no object.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably go. I don't know. One of the more expensive ones, I suppose.
The finish would be better, yeah.
Or money, no object. I'll probably build my own, or have one built.
Yeah.
Bespoke.
Bespoke. Yeah, that would be good. Yes.
Bespoke. Get a big van and build it. Just okay. It might cost you 300,000 to have all the bells and whistles that you want, because you'd have lots of solar to cope with being off grid. You'd have loads of battery to cope with being off grid. You'd have all the bits and all the bells and whistles, self-leveling. To level wherever you are. Any fancy pants windows you'd have. I'd have security grills on the windows. I've seen a security grill that you really can't break through, but it bolts to the outside. I'd want those to come up like the window blinds come up, but I want a window blind, so the window on the outside, the window blind on the inside, and then built into the wall of the motorhome. You press a button, security grill comes up. You still see through it like a fly screen. That's what I'd want. So it's sort of integral into the wall. So yeah, money no object. I'd do that. Yeah.
Great.
Bespoke. Anyway, so that's question one.
Yeah.
I hope that's answered. Doesn't really move us any further forward, does it? In terms of what we do. Anyway, the next question from Nick Carpenter asked, which country have you most enjoyed travelling in?
France.
France.
Yes.
I think I've got to agree with that. France is a beautiful, beautiful country. And if you get off the beaten track, I know a lot of people come from the UK into France and then hit the motorways or the toll roads and get down to the sunshine in Spain. You don't see much of France, but if you really, like we have, you take your time and you meander, as we did. We sort of zigzagged across France a few times, stopping at all the little towns and villages where all the airs are.
I think it's for the pure ease of travelling. It's so easy. You're welcome everywhere, and it's such a diverse country. So
Yeah.
definitely, and I think I find the language easier to follow than any other country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel more.
I think that's because
I feel I can read it more, know what's going on. So
yeah, I
so
suppose
definitely France.
apart from many countries in the UK, France is our closest foreign speaking border, isn't it? And I think, you know, most of us picked up a bit of French at school, didn't we?
We did a little bit.
And, you know.
But I do like the UK. I have to say that sometimes I don't think you can beat it. There's absolutely beautiful places in the UK. So,
there are. We've been very surprised. When we did our first, back in 2016, we towed our caravan around, went through Essex, up the east coast as far as Hull, and then went across and down the west of England, not into Wales, although we did go a bit into Wales maybe, and then down into Devon, Cornwall, and back into Sussex. We found some amazingly beautiful places around England, places that we'd never have found.
But I think we would do more if it was more motorhome friendly and cheaper. So
yeah. If it was motorhome friendly, and maybe, you know, maybe in the future, who knows? The UK, it's a small landmass compared with France, so you know, no wonder France does it better. There's a bigger landmass, more spread out. So there you go. But France, I think, beautiful place. And yeah, the people are welcoming.
Yes.
Just try to speak a little bit of French. Get your Google Translate out. Have a go, because if you're not having a go, we've got no time for you. And I think that's right. You should have a go at speaking their language. Then, what I've found is, if you have a go at speaking the language, they'll help you. They might be a little bit brusque about it, but they'll help you, and you know, they'll understand. Occasionally you'll get people, as in every nationality and country, people that are just arses, but you know, that's just life, right? But France, good. Next question from Jason Early. He says, life takes us in different directions, and we make choices at the time for the best, or we hope the best. With motorhoming in general, or equipment, have you any regrets in having bought? Have you any regrets in having bought something, and what things do you feel you should have or should buy? So, trying to make sense out of that. It's my reading while trying to think, not good. Have we bought anything that we regretted, or have we not bought anything that we should be having in the motorhome? And I think it's, you know, generally motorhoming related. I think I regret not having self-leveling on the van. We wouldn't have used it much, but you know what, where we are now, we're on a very, very tiny slope forward, and I just can't be bothered to put the ramps under. You know, it's such a tiny slope, but you notice it when you think about it. So I'd have self-leveling, but £5,000, right? It's a lot of money.
Yes, I mean, I think the first mistake we made was in the first motorhome. I think it's a mistake to buy one with a fixed table, because in a small space you've really got to be able to move the table, because it stops some people from visiting you, or ease of getting in. And
the L-shaped lounge type motorhomes,
you've got to be able to put the table away.
Are definitely for weekending. They're not for full timing. Definitely not, because you haven't got the room and the space. I know it was slightly shorter than this, but if it had an open lounge. I mean, there's shorter versions of the Auto Trail layout that we have, much shorter, like 7.5 meters. This is 8.7 meters. So, and they feel more spacious. But it's just that L-shaped lounge. And I know, you know, it seems to be quite popular. Maybe it's popular because that's what the motorhome dealers make. But I think you're right. We made a big mistake.
Yes.
Believing that the travel world people about anything they said. B, buying a brand new motorhome with the fixed layout, the drop-down bed in the lounge, which took up more space, never used, and steps up to the bed.
Yeah, that's all.
You know, I know we're only, you know, we're both now 63, and you know, we're reasonably fit. I mean, you know, but if you really, you know, wake up in the middle of the night as you do, go to the toilet and you forget the last step, you're gonna have a fall, and it blooming well hurts. I certainly don't bounce as well as I did 30 years ago. You know, it just really does hurt when you fall over. Anyway, so
that's what
those sort of mistakes. I think
the best thing I think we bought was that
the induction hob.
Induction hob. I recommend that.
An
That's
induction
the
hob.
best thing.
Do you know
So
what?
quick.
I would have, instead of, if I was building my own, instead of the gas cooker, gas oven type thing,
Biscuit.
I might well go for a different type of layout there. I definitely wouldn't have the electric hob thing. I want a sort of a double induction hob and maybe a gas ring behind that. That sort of thing. I think I'd go for a smaller gas oven and a smaller maybe combination microwave oven. That's, you know, so if somebody could make that to go in all motorhomes, I think that'd be like a really great thing.
They're really good.
Combination microwave, gas oven for small things, because you get a sort of standard size oven in a motorhome, but it's hard. You never use the full space of it, never, because you haven't got the room in the kitchen to you know.
Those saucepans.
No, so you know, and more saucepan storage space.
Yeah.
You know, because you want 2 or 3 saucepans. You know, anyway.
And we did buy a saucepan that you can use in the oven, on the hob, induction, gas, electric, buy a multi-purpose one, so you can do casseroles or whatever you want. Use it multi-purpose, because we've now got 2 that we can do that with, and that's all we need.
I think also,
after many mistakes we've made over saucepans and that. Yeah.
Also, I would go instead of Truma blown air heating, I'd either want underfloor heating or a diesel heater, or both. You know, so that goes back to building our own. I'd have underfloor heating, and I'd have a diesel heater that you know. 'Cause I'd seen recently that somebody's got underfloor heating in their self-build, and they leave it on all the time. It's electric. They leave it on all the time. They're off grid a lot of the time, and it takes up tiny amounts of electric. Yeah, so that's what I've. Anyway, so yeah, those are the sorts of things that we'd have and that we regret. What's next? Simon Worsley. Simon says, do you plan to replace or upgrade your motorhome, i.e. before it gets too old and starts going wrong? Well, we're too late for that. It's going wrong in all sorts of different ways. Not much, but they're not designed for living full time, so they go wrong. So too late before it goes wrong. I think, you know, before it goes wrong, you'd have to buy it and sell it brand new within 3 months, right? things start to go wrong immediately on motorhomes. Anyway, ignoring that, do we plan to replace or upgrade? Replacing this, no, we don't plan to replace or upgrade.
No,
as you
not.
say.
No plans.
No. So yeah, we're entirely happy
Yes.
with this Auto Trail Comanche. It's we were so lucky to get this, and it was sort of a comedy of errors, if you like, brought us to this position, because we bought the Heimer T678 CL Golden Limited Edition from the company I now call Trouble World, because they caused us a world of trouble with that motorhome. It was on the forecourt, same as a Burstner model, but a level of quality up. But it turned out it was awful. They didn't tell us it had been a show model, so we didn't get the discounts that we thought we'd. If I'd known it had been at the motorhome show, I'd have asked for a big blooming discount.
Yeah.
Because you had like 200 people tramping through it. No wonder all the blinds were a bit iffy, and the TV stand didn't come up or go down. Wendy couldn't get the TV out of the cupboard because it was on a spring-loaded thing. She couldn't press it down to get it to come up. She couldn't push it down to put it away. Ridiculous. And they said, they loosen up over time. They put the awning in exactly the wrong place, and then tried to fob us off with, well, Heimer insist that we put them in that position. And when I showed them the Heimer marketing photo of our exact van with the awning in exactly the position I wanted it, like moved to the front so it didn't foul the door, it's just really, really, they lied to us so badly. So
anyway, so we're happy with this one. No problems. Yeah.
We eventually sent it back. They lent us this one while they were going to repair all the problems, and there were 2 A4 pages of problems, and it was it was 24 hours later. Wendy and I looked at each other and said, why don't we keep this?
Yeah.
And we did a deal.
We did.
Cost us another £8,000, but bearing in mind the Heimer was 70 when we bought it brand new. This was 15 months old when we bought it, and this is new. This is an 85,000 pound van. So we've effectively paid 78,000 for this, 15 months old. So I thought that was not a bad deal, because it superb condition. Pretty much nothing wrong with it.
No.
Apart from the batteries, the leisure batteries needed replacing, and Trouble World replaced them with engine starter batteries. What a bunch of arses. So anyway, but I've since upgraded that, or we have since upgraded that to lithium batteries, and we're entirely happy with that. So going back to Jason's question, what would you buy? Lithium batteries, if you're full-timing lithium batteries, and I'd have as many as you can afford. That's somebody walking by with a little dog. Pippin likes to say hello. Anyway, so those are the first 4 questions that we've had. As I say, if you have any more questions that you want us to answer, then pop them in the comments below, and we will come back. Maybe in a few days or a couple of weeks, and answer those. Thanks so much for watching.
Yes,
Don't forget, if you want to get all the answers to these questions and follow us further on our journey as we stay in semi-lockdown in Sweden.
Yes.
Subscribe, and don't forget to click the like button as
Yes.
well. Oh, bell icon. Click that bell icon so that we send you reminders, so you'll know when we upload a video. Anyway, thanks again for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Bye bye for
Well,
now.
thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.